Tonight, President Trump is trying to become the first sitting president to appear on American currency. The Treasury Department confirmed plans to potentially put Trump's face on a commemorative $250 bill for the country's 250th birthday. Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, acknowledged that the law prevents any living person from being printed on money and that Congress would have to act in order to make it work. But other than that, he's on board.
So I'm not going to lie. It made me giggle as well. So Trump wants his face on the $250 bill on the country's 250th anniversary. Of course, it's silly. I mean, but this is what Trump does. It's a classic Trump troll. He floats something crazy. He does something ridiculous. And he waits for the reaction. And watch what this CNN NewsNight panel does next, because they're about to hand him exactly what he wanted.
I don't think that there's anything untoward about having the President of the United States, the person who was President of the United States, on the 250th anniversary bill.
Democrats are vowing to stop it and say that the effort shows where Republicans' priorities lie.
It's monopoly money, it's fantasy, and we are going to do everything possible to make sure that this never happens. This is what they're focused on, as opposed to actually doing the type of things to address the damage that they've done to the American people. The economy is in shambles. The Republicans have been a failure. They said they were going to lower costs on day one. Costs haven't gone down, they've gone up, and yet they're focused on a 250 make-believe bill for Donald Trump. I mean, you couldn't make this up if you were a Hollywood screenwriter.
I have to chuckle because Scott Bessent's like, there's nothing wrong with putting a president on a $250 bill. And it's like, actually, Congress explicitly said that there's something wrong with it.
Which he said in that same press conference.
But I mean, like, there is, the thing that's wrong about it is that it's against the law. That's the thing that's wrong.
I mean, which is also Hakeem Jeffries saying, oh, we're going to stop it. You don't need to do anything unless Republicans try to change that law, which
they are trying to do. Here's Andy Barr.
Here's
Andy Barr trying to get into the good graces of President Trump with this photo of himself and a giant $250 bill. I mean, yeah, they are trying to do it. But I think what's really the truth of this reporting is that the Treasury Department, rather than saying, we're not going to take this seriously because it's not going to go anywhere, they're putting pressure on officials inside the printing bureau to plan to make it happen. The director of printing, Patricia Patty Salamine, and other staff repeatedly explained that there were legal and procedural obstacles to producing the note. She says she abruptly resigned from her post in Treasury management on April 27th, presumptively facing pressure.
Are you going to leave out the fantastic line in her resignation letter that said the buck stops here?
Yeah.
Like, come on, that is a
apparently it doesn't, because she got moved out of her job. I mean, and it's just like, can we just say how cuckoo it is that we're at war, that we've got an inflation report today, that inflation is the highest it's been in 3 years, that the president promised to lower prices, that he promised not to do forever wars or go back into the Middle East, and that's what we're doing. And then how does he spend his time? Bessent is he's basically in the briefing room talking about a $250 bill. First of all, who other than Bessent's friends need a $250 bill? I don't know anyone who uses a $250 bill, but whatever. But also the idea that we're going to spend money to put Donald Trump's pictures on a $250 bill is ridiculous and absurd.
After the press conference was about Iran sanctions and the media.
It would be a crazy conversation.
Because they're doing it. It's why they're being asked about it.
It would be a crazy conversation. Wait, it would be a crazy conversation.
They just fired someone.
It would be a crazy conversation, except that he just put that same picture, that same mug on banners all over D.C., that same mug on U.S. passports.
It's crazy that he wants to do it.
Every time I look at it,
I agree with you.
Reminds me of Vigo.
Okay, so there you go. They took the bait. Every single one of them. The Democrats are lazy. You can see that reacting to Trump is their entire game. And that is precisely what actually makes Trump. They don't even know it. So here's the truth. It is cheaper to react. It is harder to do the real work of policy. Trump trolls, I'm not going to lie, they take the bait And while they're busy being outraged, Trump just keeps it moving. That is why he's effective and they're not. Just listen to them. They say he has some pathological need to mark his territory like a puppy. I mean, it's cuckoo. I mean, these are not analysis. That is a whole table losing it over a piece of paper that can't even be printed. The troll is working perfectly and they can't see it. Or maybe they do, and they just can't help themselves. So let me ask you, do you think Trump does this on purpose? Or do they just keep falling for it every single time? Drop it in the comment section.
The ghost on the tapestry from Ghostbusters who would come out and terrorize
the hair does look a
people.
little like.
And again, it goes to the extreme tone deafness of this administration that we see over and over again. Also, some sort of like clinical pathological need of Donald Trump to piss on every hydrant he can and mark every territory he can. It is not normal. It's kind of weird and creepy.
It's beyond unseemly, but I also think it is a troll. This is a wag the dog kind of situation here. They are interested in getting. They want Democrats talking about this and outrage.
I would agree with you. I would agree with you if he didn't put his face in a passport.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it isn't ridiculous.
That actually
and over the
happened.
top. You could do something about this after the fact, but it's certainly an opportunity to say, look, we're not even going to engage on this. Here are my specific policy recommendations. I don't know why Democrats continue to get animated about this stuff. We're going to do everything possible to stop this. This is ridiculous. I'm not going to devote any time to it whatsoever.
All right, let's let Jesse have a quick last word because we do have to go. Go ahead, Jesse.
I just think this is Donald Trump does this kind of thing to elicit this kind of reaction on this kind of show, and y'all have played right into
No,
this
it's
hand.
not.
By the way, can we go back to the question about Harriet
Do you know
Tubman
what-
on a $20 bill?
Do you know when people respond
What if we
to
put
this?
Harriet Tubman on the $250 bill? Then are you in, Hannah?
Go ahead
Do you-
and finish
do
this
you know
thought,
what
and
people
then we
respond-
can go, please.
process?
All right.
People respond
MOU.
because I heard the same thing. No one really cares about the ballroom. People respond to this. Democrats respond to it because it actually upsets people that Donald Trump cares more about his picture on the face of a $250 bill than he does how much you're paying for gas from his war. That is why people
because
respond
it's
to it.
actually
All right, we'll leave it there,
materializing.
my
It had some
friends. Next
actual
for
proposals.
us,
They do
the
have
panel is going to give us their nightcaps. Nick's Tickets edition. We'll be right back.
So there you go. Trump does not need to win the argument. He doesn't even need the bill. He just needs them talking about him all night instead of gas prices or the midterms or anything that matters. Rent-free in their heads. If you want the news called straight like this, do me a favor and hit subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.